Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Friday follow-up in the continuing journey of accountability. I'm back home. As I reported back the past couple of weeks, I was in Milwaukee and tried to do a couple of different things while I was traveling. Last week, I kind of turned it on you folks to go back in the archives and find a favorite video or go to my blogs and read that and reflect on that message and share. So I hope you enjoy doing that. Today, I kind of had a theme in mind because of traveling and thinking that I had done a pretty decent job on my journey to a healthier lifestyle. And I knew this weekend was setting our clocks back. And I anticipated I might have a setback in my journey. So let's kind of talk a few minutes first about setting our clocks back this weekend. And typically, I mean, you can go on and find all kinds of lists on what one should do during this time of year. And it's just a reminder of things that can be done. And I'm going to read a list off to you folks, not important, and maybe some of them will apply and you can come up with your own list, but I think you'll see why I want to start off with this, and we'll tie this all together, because after all, I am a professional, and you can try this at home if you want to. So anyway, the list of things that you can do for this time of year is, the classic one is to replace the batteries in your smoke detector or your carbon monoxide detector. Classic one, always mentioned at this time of year. You may want to reverse the direction of your ceiling fan, flip and rotate your mattress, schedule a furnace inspection, or if you have a fireplace, have that chimney looked at, replace the filters in your heater or air conditioner, drain the water in your water heater, go through your medicine cabinet and throw away anything that has expired, or make sure your first aid kit is up to date. Rotate your wardrobe, clean your dryer vent ducts, and also clean the coils on your refrigerator. All these things, like I said, may pertain to you or not, depending on where you're living. But they're all things that are preventative maintenance, so you won't have a catastrophe down the road. And again, the whole idea of replacing the batteries in your smoke detector is probably the number one thing that should be done. The other stuff is just kind of make your life a little bit easier, so that you don't get caught with a huge heating bill or a chimney fire because you didn't have your chimney inspected. Again, all things that we should be doing all along, but we need reminders. And the weekend where we set our clocks back is a great reminder on what we should do. And I thought it was ironic, as I was looking ahead at the schedule, where I knew I'd have to set the clock back this weekend, and trust me, I can use that extra hour after traveling for this past couple of weeks. So like I said, I reported back the first Friday I was in Milwaukee that I was feeling pretty good. I thought I was managing my situations, again, eating in restaurants every day, but I had somebody else doing my portion control for me, so that was good. And then when I got back home, I stepped on my scales, and which is pretty close to what happens when I weigh in at chapter meeting on Thursday nights. And I was not happy with the number. I had a setback. And I just didn't really expect that much of a setback. But I thought, I got to get back on track. What are the things that I can do if I'm having a setback? And I went to the TOPS website, and there was actually an article or program that was done a while ago. And I'm just going to go over the 10 things. And I said, yeah, I really need to do some of these things, and I'd like to share them with you. The first one, when you have a setback, is remember how far you've come. I've said this many times, folks, just the fact of joining TOPS and getting into a group of like-minded folks who are there to support you in every way is the first step, and you're already ahead of the game. Talk to someone who motivates you. You know, whether it's somebody, a confidant in your life, an aunt, an uncle, a counselor, another TOPS member who understands what you're going through. That's very important to reach out, get connected. Forgive yourself for a bad day and just move on. And I was thinking back on the 2 weeks that I was on the road. I don't think I had that many bad days. I did have a couple of special treats. Again, thinking that I had managed it pretty well, but hey, it's over. Got to move on. Do something you love. That's always a hard one for me, because I'm always working, always thinking, trying to get things done. But like, look for things that cheer me up. And I like to read a good book, although I don't have much time these days, but to get involved into a good book. But sometimes just watching insane comedy shows. You know, that's where do you think I get all my material, folks? Think I make this stuff up? You know, and just try to let my mind drift away and not focus. I kind of like doing stuff like that. I like going to the casinos, and folks, I can tell you that's the one place you do not want to lose. But I move on. And the next one is move on. I got to move more. Whenever there's a setback in my journey, I have to think, well, what did I do this week? You know, look back at my pedometer, and I said, had a couple of days where I just didn't move more. So I've got to pay more attention to that. And when you're dealing with a setback, you just kind of want to look ahead as you're setting things back in place to readjust. So the next one is laugh. Well, I think I've got that one covered, folks. I just sometimes wish this is a great technology, but I can't hear you folks either laughing or probably crying at some of the bad jokes that I do, but maybe that's a good thing on my part. But, you know, try to make stuff, go to do things that make you laugh. Listen to my videos, that will make you laugh. Or go to, again, watch that sitcom or crazy movie and just kind of let life go and don't worry about the small stuff. This next one is really important when you're dealing with a setback, is pause to think about your triumphs. You got to realize, again, going back to how far you've come, just the fact being a TOPS member makes you a winner and you're ahead of the game. But think back of what you've already lost. Where would you be without TOPS? So this is where I can put in where I thought my setback was. And it was, like I said, worse than I thought, but I was able to manage it for this week home, where I think I got off track. But remember, I mentioned when I'm on the road, I have the restaurant folks handle my portions. Well, when I got home, I was putting my own portions on the plate, and I think I obviously went overboard. But I think I got it back on track. I did weigh in after missing a couple of meetings, and I had a 1.6 gain, a 1.6 gain. So it's still a setback, not as bad as I thought it was. I think I was able to manage it and turn things around. So I'm pleased about that, because I am going to pause right now and reflect on the triumphs that I have. And you've heard me say this before. I feel much better. My clothes are fitting better. I'm much healthier than I was before I joined TOPS. And I think all of you can say that, you know, that we are much better than we were for the very first day we walked into a chapter meeting. So I'm still holding at 36.4 pounds lost for the year. 2 more months to go. You all know what I'm trying to get back to my COP status, and I hope we get it done together by the end of the year. But again, we're going to work on it, try to make some changes, and we just do the best, the best we can. And the other one, the couple more here, put things in perspective and help someone else. And I think that is very important. We had a great program last night at the chapter meeting, and people were reflecting on things that can be done. And folks said, well, I would share this, and they think they're the only one who has that issue. And no, by sharing and talking to other people, you're going to find out that they're thinking the same thing you're thinking, and by doing that, you're helping them. So that's very powerful. Return to what inspires you. Maybe a favorite song or a poem, something that just kind of gets you connected, kind of grounds you on what needs to be done on this journey. And the last one is, imagine your life after you achieve your weight loss goal. Well, that may be hard for some folks, but I can share with you on where I was. When I was over 320 pounds, I was living, but I wasn't living. I was always worried about when Ann and I went out in public, what were people looking at? Were they judging me? I mean, it's hard. And then we would go to a theater or movie, and like I'd always want to grab the first seat in the aisle because I didn't want to walk through people or feel confined in the middle of the row. Or when we went to a wedding or a funeral and there was a gathering after, I'd always want to get a table where I could kind of hide but yet have room to move. And that was really a big deal. I wanted to get into public speaking, and I was like, I would always hide behind the podium. And when I lost the weight and I got more confident, that's when I always felt I could do that. That's where I think my life changed. So, yeah, I put some of the weight back on, and I'm taking it back off, but I didn't lose that confidence because I learned a lot on the journey, and I'm comfortable of sitting any area in a row in a theater. So much so, but talk about habits that are ingrained when you're trying to do these things. Sometimes Ann will automatically stop at the first couple seats in a row, remembering that's where I wanted to go. I said, oh, no, let's get in the middle. I'm fine. And not afraid now to walk the whole stage when I talk to folks. And I so desperately want to get to go to your SRDs, ARDs, and PRDs so I can walk that stage giving presentations. So, I mean, I envisioned that. And I have that, and that's good. So what I'm looking forward now is to sharing that. I want other people to get that confidence as they lose weight, and for so many reasons. And sometimes we are our worst enemy. We tend to beat ourselves up more than anybody else. So I thought this was very appropriate, where I was in the back of my mind over the past 2 weeks when I was away from the main office, that I may have a setback. And then my first talk with you folks back from Milwaukee was on the weekend, where we were going to turn our clocks back. So I think it all worked out. Funny how that does happen in life, that if we just think about what we're going to do, plan a little bit better, things tend to work out for the best. So I hope you enjoyed going back and finding something that made you laugh in one of my messages, or reading my blogs and really kind of putting that into perspective. Another one will be released shortly. The title, The Sense is Pressure. I think you'll enjoy that one. And let's plan on doing this again next Friday. See you soon.